Okay, I will just take about a couple of minutes to brief what is bioconservation society is doing in the field in is all around Sri Lanka, but mostly we are working in coastal areas. This is we are doing some awareness program for the school kids and fishermen in the coastal areas about coastal biodiversity conservation and just reduce the use of shopping bag, plastic bags, and promote some other cotton bags. See, not only kids, but all fishermen. He also happy with the bag, and some these kids with some getting that cloth bag and also plant because we are doing promoting some field conservation activities while conducting our awareness programs. You can see various kind of awareness program, maybe in outside, inside, and also in mostly we are working in Kalpitia Peninsula, and all the ethnic groups there are, and also all the religion people are there. Therefore, it's a mixture of culture. Then we working with all these people. And here we provided toilet facilities for the fishing villages people who having don't have proper toilets. Actually, it's also related to the environmental conservation and also their hygienic improve their hygienic conditions. And we conducted a batik training program for the women in the Kandakuli village as an alternative income. And then there's some tourism in that area, especially dolphin and whale watching and also kite surfing. Then this will be a extra income for the villages, ladies in the village. They can, while their husbands doing fishing, they can do some income generation activities using this income. And we are conducting not only that Kalpiti area, all over the country we conducted beach vegetation replantation program from Mana to Tengol, and also we are conducting this program, tree planting program in with the villages. And then we promoting village kids and adults and also some tourists from the area joined this program, and wildlife department and various government institutions also joining time to time with this our programs. And also here you can see, as Professor Dangola mentioned, turtle bycatch is a big issue. So we are conducting some conservation program as well as surveys and research activities with the community to get the real figure about what's happening in the field with this turtle bycatch. And this is mangrove replantation programs in Kalpiti area. Here also we taking our school kids to aware them how to do the field conservation activities and encourage them from the childhood. They have to consider their environmental, and they have to use it sustainable way. Therefore, we get them to the field and doing the practical work with them. And also here some university students from the Jayawardhanapura University also joined one tree planting program. This way we conducting these programs with various group of country, and also next month we are going to do another replanting program with a company in Nigambu. Like that, we trying to work with this not only community, other government officials and other employers and all the people to get their attention to these environmental conservation activities. School exhibitions and beach and the cleaning works with the community and school kids. And actually during this COVID situation last year, we conducted art competition with the school kids, but unfortunately COVID condition continued and we couldn't have award ceremony. So last month we went to winners' home. Each home will be taken close by their home, and we given their prize and their award and certificate with their parents. This is also a new experience. Normally only one parent going to the award ceremony with kids, but here their parents and their neighbors also join when they getting that certificates and their award. This also we another replanting program with community. We given some home garden crops to these villagers that promote this field conservation activities. And this is from Recover Tangol Institute Nest Conservation Program. Actually, now this nest protectors in the Recover village, now they train as a tourist guide and they doing tourism and earning money from the tourism, and they protecting the turtle nest in Recover beach. With the wildlife department and official also there, and with some other group and NGO, they work in there. But due to COVID condition, they completely lost their income during last 2 years. Therefore, we also supported them to raise some funds and supported them for the 20 families for last year to give some compensation for them to for their day-to-day cost to manage their families until they recover in their tourism income from the tourism. Now, actually, since last January, they're slowly getting income again, developing, but still we are supporting them, about 20 families in Raka village. And this is just a poster, awareness posters distributing to the villagers and school kids during our various programs. And also we conducted some rural clinic with our PHI and other doctors in that areas to promote them. Then they are encourage the villagers. They have to do environmental conservation, and also same time they can get other benefits and encourage them. And this is our last symposium in 2016. It was held in other side of this same hotel. And then after this conference, we got another chance to conduct this in the 2022. This is last year group photo. Now I invite you all to have a group photo now for this 2020 symposium. And finally, I want to mention one thing for the presenters. Last year we managed to give proceedings same day during the conference, but this year because of the short, only 3 weeks, we cannot print or produce the proceedings. I expecting all the presenters 3-page extended abstract, and we are planning to collect that abstract before 20th February, within another 1 month, and then we are planning to print the proceedings in March. And actually this is Mr. Josh Cole from Rufford, Grant Director. He couldn't come to Kandy because of some their problems and that getting their leaves during the exact time. Therefore, he came to Sri Lanka yesterday, and I have to go to Colombo and met him. And he given his wishes to this conference, and actually they are the funders for this conference. I would like to thank Rufford Foundation because I got 5 grants to continue our works from there. Okay, thank you very much.
Beautiful day today here in Kandy. Would be a great day to be out there doing what we love to do always, but it is as important as our work is to write down our work, our experiences and our findings, and also to share it with our colleagues and our friends. And that's why we're organizing this Rufford second in-country conference today. To start things, we would like to inaugurate with the traditional lighting of oil lamp. To that, I would like to invite Chairman of the Bioconservation Society, Dr. Lalith Eganayaka, and Professor Dongola, the Professor in Veterinary Clinical Science, Professor Prashkumara, Dean, Faculty of Veterinary College, Additional Director, Additional Director of Wildlife Conservation Department, Ruchira Karunaratne. Professor Deepal Subasinghe from Institute of Fundamental Studies, and Dr. Samiti Meghalakumura from Department of Animals Productions and Health, and Dr. Kavinda Vijayasundara from the Faculty of Veterinary Science of University of Peradeniya. We would also like to invite former judge Mr. Anand Herath and Mr. Ajit Atugala to come to the oil lamp. We would also like to invite the two teachers in charge who came from the Trinity College Kandy and Kingswood College Kandy. Also, we would like to invite two young students to come to the oil lamp to participate in this inauguration session. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Lalit Tekanayaka to present the welcome speech with the chairman of Bioconservation Society of Sri Lanka.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to this Let's Protect Sri Lankan Biodiversity, the second Rufford in-country conference in Sri Lanka. It is my pleasure to welcome all the participants today for this 3-day conference. I welcome to our guest of honor and keynote speaker, Professor Ashoka Dangwala, and all the guests who came from all over the country, representing various government and other institutions. Moreover, I would like to welcome all the eminent speakers, Rufford grantees, postgraduate students, and other undergraduate students, and also some other speakers from the various institutions from the conservation field in Sri Lanka. The Rufford Foundation is a UK registered charity which funds nature conservation projects across the developing world. To date, the foundation has awarded grants to over 5,000 participants in various countries all over the world. Through its conference program, the foundation encourages the sharing of knowledge and has best practices throughout the conservation world which they are experienced. In 2016, we organized the first Rufford in-country conference in Sri Lanka, and We are privileged to receive another opportunity to invitation to organize this second conference as well. Over the last couple of months, we were planning to conduct this meeting, but unfortunately, due to the spread of COVID in the UK, we were compelled to postpone it due to the unavailability of the grantees to come here. However, on the 7th of January, I received an email from the Rufford Grant Director, Mr. Josh Cole, stating that I have a good news and bad news. We can do the meeting, but it has to be in the week of 20th January. Then we had only 20 days to organize all these things. It was a big challenge, but I accepted it. And I sincerely hope you all enjoy today and these next 2 days with this conference. Moreover, I want to say one more thing. When we organized in the conference, I came to this venue with the hotel manager from the outside lift. But day before yesterday, this manager called me and told me that the lift has broken, something wrong with the machine. So I apologize all of you for inconvenience when you come into the venue. If you had some difficulties. Okay, thank you very much for the participation and enjoy the conference. And we can get a lot of knowledge within the next 2 days during these various topics in these sessions. Thank you very much.
Okay, good day, and it's red time because you all are waiting for your lunch. But I will not take much of the time because I'm talking about a little bit related to the food. Good time to explain food crops. Actually, this is not much about regarding conservation, but the importance of food crops. I am talking about underutilized food crops, and especially concerned the Symposium community because I studied Symposium in morphological factors, especially I but I don't take much time. Just continue my presentation. Actually, the world is increasing the population day by day at the rate of 4.1%. It is now reached around 7 billion people. Within another 30 years, it is come to 10 billion. Now the world is facing serious problem for feeding this population. The matter is that not that things, but the change in climate and other factors. I shows that the side that increasing temperature is one thing that shows that change in environment and climate change. That seriously affect the food crops. And that case that the World Health Organization and United Nations identified that it is not enough to depend on the prevailing handful of food crops. Therefore, we have to think about the other food crops like alternative food sources. Therefore, it is important to study these crops, especially underutilized food crops. In Sri Lanka, when it concerns Sri Lanka, it is as a tropical country. We're blessed with a wide range of climatic conditions and it's helpful to have a wide range of food crop and vegetation. And we have ample amount of fruit crops around country, around 250. We know about those things? No. Only 50 species are still used as food crops. What happened to others? Those are diminishing day by day. Without conservation of all those things, they will diminish quickly. Then it is not good for our future. Future is facing problems, especially finding food. Without, though we are concerned today also we are facing those problems. At that time, but in the case of the climate change, environmental changes, we have to think about alternative sources. At that time, that these underutilized foods have high potentials. But nowadays have problem with those crops because people don't know much about those crops, mainly due to poor shelf lives and unacceptable characters and small sized fruits and big sized seed. Therefore, market is not acceptable. Those things happening. Therefore, those always day by day tend to diminish. Therefore, but because of the warning by United Nations, we have to think about the diminishing and eroding genetic setup of the underutilized fruits. This graph, one of the studies, is not my one, but it shows that how that people right, okay. This shows that how people, this survey is done, how people are aware about this, how extent that people use that underutilized food crops. It shows that daily consumption is very, very rare, but never use is many high, like Madang and what's called egg fruits, and also Himbutu, like a lot of people have never touched those things. But those are very good food crops, but need high improvement. In my study, I try to understand that the morphological variation of one crop that shows that we have to study these things. Without studying more variations, we can't go ahead of this plant. Okay. Actually, UN FAO is predicted that within 2015, our genetic food crops, especially food crops, diminish up to 1/3 of food crops will diminish from the world. Maybe you can't find it if you're not concerned much. Therefore, I think we have to concern about those unutilized, less attention, less prioritized food crops for future use, without allowing us to in the danger. Here I show some for your information, few underutilized food crops. Maybe unutilized, unknown food crops. People have no idea what are those. Actually, first one, I think that what's called this. Maybe you have seen, not consumed. This one, actually, it's I think if you're in dry zone area, it's a vegan. It's a good food crop, but you know it is one of the tree. Can we cultivate trees as a food crops in everywhere? No. That's a problem. We have to think about how to improve those things to utilize, and how to utilize those, the way of utilizing. Actually, these photographs just I get from the internet. I can't mention this post. But this one is very well known. Lanka, it's well known, but it is also in underutilized state. Similar manner, every fruit crop have different good characters of medicinal values. The medicinal characters are there. Those things we can improve to more use for the medicinal purposes. If you take that caricola, this is actually underutilized, but people have eaten as a star fruit. Okay, it is such a good for that, by diabetic purpose, cure the diabetes, and also some. If you eat too much, it's a problem for kidney. Kidney has to, therefore we have to limit it. Okay. Therefore, we have to consider, we have to study those things. We need research. We need a different experiment on those food crops, but less attention. Less attention. And also, I think dual is considered underutilized, but I have seen many times that dual in the jam. So such amount of jam can produce such a dual available in the country. I don't know. Maybe the problem with the food products. Anyway, like that here. I don't want to take much time of discussing these things, but this one, I think Manika had said that palu. So palu is one of the tree we know that the dry zone areas. We are not considering this a fruit, but the palu fruits are very, very tasty and very attractive fruits. We can, if you can develop that one, we can have market use. If you use this fruit that's like what is called palu, if you dry some days change. We can store it for a long time. That's like grapes. So grapes, dried grapes. We can use for a long time for food industry. Same manner we can use this one, but no one has touched it. This is we have to exploit those. And like that, there are many things underutilized fruits. Therefore, but we have to conserve these. We need high studies, conservation, and also the morphological studies, and also genetic studies. Everything we need to do. Yeah, here shows that this slide mainly because the different fruit crop here, few fruit crop mentioned, underutilized. Those fruits not available one time. Throughout the year, different times those are available. It is one of the advantage. A different time period, different fruit crop available. But the problem is they are not unacceptable characters. We have to overcome those things. For that, we need high concentration of studies on those crops. Yeah, today my objective is to talk with you about the Symposium committee, Madang. I think everyone knows Madang. It's in the literature. It is, we are calling now, we are future crops. But actually those are not our future, it's our past crops. Past we have those fruit crops. Now we are talking about future. This is available everywhere nowadays also, but less attention. When concerned of the world, it is the region where we have Symposium community, this area. That means no one should do experiment on those. We ourselves have to do these fruit crops to improve to the level of commercialization, commercial level. But other countries not interested because these are not their crops. There are many advantages of many advantages of having Madang. Need more attention to study those things. In our study, I try to identify the variation of those crops. Variation of this crop is important to understand. It is so potentials of improvement. I can go ahead. Yeah, these are the study areas that we collected our Symposium plants. Here is briefly. I will go ahead. Many variations, especially leaf concern, region to region, high variations, and there sometimes it's uniform some areas, but especially case of Beticlo and Alpha area, these have particular change color and change size of the leaves. Here you can see the biggest leaves and smallest leaves. Such a variations are there, same species. That means we have potential to improve this fruit as a fruit crop in certain extent. It shows some potential. And we found that many variations of morphology of the leaf shapes is highly varied. Region to regions vary. Sometimes specific to region, and is specific to that particular tree. That need high studies for commercial use. Dendrogram shows mainly two groups and 2-3 clusters we identified. Actually, cluster 2 is mainly belongs to Ampar and Beticlo. That means that region we have to have good attention to improve the fruit crops to find the new varieties. And flower variations we studied that flower structure and fruit structure, and those shows everything shows the high variation. I want to highlight this high variations shows that this crop can be improved to the commercial level by finding out new varieties. Okay. Right, mainly I want to highlight this high variation without taking much and stop. Therefore, future research should we go ahead with the focusing characterizations and genetic conservation of these underutilized crops. It is potential to improve quality fruits as well as resilience for future crops. Okay, just things from that I'll stop because this is time for your concentrate on not this topic but the lunch. Okay, thank you very much. I must acknowledge that Rufford University research grant from giving me chance to do this work. And, thank you very much.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. So in this presentation, I'll be talking about the Seagrass restoration project in culture. I'll basically tell you what seagrasses are and some of the benefits that they provide to us. So seagrasses are flowering plants, and they have the basic structure as the terrestrial plants and the flowering plants that we found on the land. And the only difference is that these are completely underwater unless they are like in the low tide area, they can get exposed. But usually, most of the time, these seagrasses are completely underwater. And it is mostly mistaken as seaweed by the local community or the fisher community. And even some of us also mistake them as seaweeds because of the they look the same, but they are not the same because seaweed are algae. They have full past and they don't have leaves in a blades. But these seagrasses, just like the normal plants that we see on them, these have roots, leaves, sheaths, and every characteristics of the flowering plant. So these seagrasses, they usually appear in large meadows. These meadows could be homogeneous or mixed species habitats. In Sri Lanka, we have both these type of seagrass meadows, mixed species and homogeneous habitats. So these are some of the benefits of the seagrasses. So they are, together with the phytoplankton in the ocean, they are considered as the lungs of the sea because they produce a lot of oxygen. And also they provide food and shelter for many marine organisms. And some of these organisms are endangered, like dugongs, and especially the green sea turtle and the sea horses. And also most of the commercial fishery species, their juveniles are found in these seagrass habitats. For example, if you take coral reef fishes, like their juveniles can be found in adjacent seagrass habitats because these provide protection for these type of species. In the same way, commercial fishery species also have their nursery in these seagrass patches. And most importantly, these seagrasses, they capture carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Together with salt marshes and mangroves, these seagrasses, they capture more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere than tropical rainforests. But unfortunately, the seagrass meadows in Sri Lanka, they are highly fragmented. So we need to expand the seagrass meadows that we already have and conserve the seagrasses that we have. That is why seagrass restoration is important. Of course, we need to protect what remains, but for what we've lost, we need to restore and try to connect those fragments again and have the massive, vast areas of seagrasses that we had before. So in Sri Lanka, there are 40 species of seagrasses. You can see in the picture, the first one in Sacrodes, it is the largest seagrass species that we have here, usually found close to lagoonal areas. And you can see some small species. So for this seagrass restoration effort, we use Symposium rotundata and Symposium cellulata. One of the main reasons is these are medium-sized seagrasses, and these are commonly found in the Kalpiti area. So we can easily find the donor plugs of this species. You can see the Halophila species, they are quite small. So it is somewhat difficult to do the restoration with these type of small seagrasses, and that is one of the reasons we selected Symposium, commonly known as ribbon grass. So the objectives of this species, this is a pilot project. So we try to use the short-term data by transplanting these seagrasses to predict the long-term outcomes. And also we needed to ensure the long-term survival of seagrasses through local community support, because local community is the one mainly benefited by these seagrasses and the fisher community. So we definitely need to educate them about this. So we do awareness as well. And also we do seagrass restoration research in order to expand this into other areas around the country. This is a project site. It is in Kalpiti Lagoon. You can see the large Putala Lagoon here. Above that, we have Kalpiti Lagoon, and this seagrass restoration site is adjacent to a small island known as Chilitiv. So you can see in this small island, we have a very good patch of mangroves, and in addition to that, in this area we have inhalers, the largest seagrass in Sri Lanka, and this is the area where we do we usually collect the donor plants for seagrass restoration project. So before the actual planting sessions, we do pre-restoration baseline survey, usually for any type of restoration effort, not just marine ecosystem restoration, but terrestrial ecosystem restoration as well. It is better that the donor site and the restoration site be somewhat similar, because then the transplanted plants can actually grow well and the success rate is somewhat higher. So we take water parameters like salinity, pH, temperature, and we try to find the restoration site as much as similar to the donor site. So in the methods, what we basically do, we extract seagrass plants from a nearby healthy meadow. Of course, for this, we need a lot of manpower. We have a lot of volunteers involved with us, helping us for the seagrass restoration effort. And once the plants are extracted, while the plants are being extracted by some, the others will prepare the mixture. We try to make the mixture with some fertilizer and sediments from the donor beds. So we try to stabilize these sediments in a Hessian bag. And then these pre-prepared Hessian bags will be planted by the extracted seagrasses from the donor seagrass bed. And these plants will be transported to the restoration site. If it is a large number of plants, then we will use a large buoy. If it is a small number of plants, then we can simply use a buoy and a tray with floats to transport them to the restoration site. And then with the local community and the volunteers, we were able to do 17 to 800 seagrass plants. Initially, we wanted to do about 1,000 seagrass plants, but we only managed to do about 800 during this project. All were driven seagrass, two Symposium species that we found on the species, and these were transplanted in 5 clumps adjacent to each other. And then one thing is, the most important thing in any restoration project, we do monitor these sites every 2 months. So during the monitoring, we examine each plot for survival of planting units, and also we take the coverage of the seagrass, because once they are stabilized on the ground, they can actually expand their roots and have new planting units in the area. So that is, of course, one of the goals, to see that these seagrasses, when we plant them in about 1 meter distance, so that they have enough space to expand themselves and make a large seagrass meadow. So we usually take the coverage using the transects and also quadrats, and also we use photographs to see the difference, whether they are healthy enough, whether these leaves are dried, and whether they are dying. So we use photographs as well. And also we also check for the utilization of the site by any kind of predators like fish, crustaceans, snails. Sometimes we don't know what the predator is, because we only see the effect. But then we know there's a lot of predation going on here, and we need to do some things to avoid this predation by other species, like putting a net around that area and those kind of things. But luckily, in this seagrass restoration site, there was not much predation by any predators in the area. So by the end of the first 3 months, this is actually very common to any kind of restoration. During the first 3 months, there was a success rate of 94.5. So it was really successful. But by the end of 1 year, there was only 70% success of the seagrasses. And this is common for any kind of restoration, that not all you can't expect 100% success rate for any kind of restoration. So actually 70% is a big number for a restoration effort, I would say. And then along with the seagrass restoration, we needed to educate the people, especially the local community, about the seagrasses. And schools is the key, they are the future generation. So we did some awareness program for small children in the area. And also with the support of the volunteers, we needed to emphasize the importance of keeping the beaches clean. So that otherwise these plastics and all end up in the seagrass areas and also mangrove areas, because they are kind of like the barrier between the land and the sea. So these polythenes and plastics, they are trapped between seagrasses and mangroves. So we did a couple of beach cleanups in the area, very close to the beach, close to the seagrass restoration site. So the future actions will be, we definitely need to continue monitoring. And also last restoration session was this January, about weeks ago. So we are continuing it with we try to do it every month or every other month. And also we need to protect the restored site as well as the donor site with the help of local community. And also we need to do a lot of awareness programs, especially for fisher community and the local community. And we try to get women involved in this seagrass restoration project, where we did some questionnaire surveys with the greening community, mostly women. So we try to get them involved in our restoration project as well. And we need to do more research on seagrass restoration in order to, like I say, in order to expand into the other areas in the country, to first to find possible sites of seagrass restoration, and then to continue this method and see whether this method is working on other areas as well. So this project would not have been possible without the support from Rufford Foundation, and also without the support from all other volunteers. And also thank you for organizing this very useful conference by Conservation Society. Thank you.
Well, let me ask a question first. Maybe you're sleepy, feeling sleepy. The talks were interesting, though, the talks before. If I ask a question, do you know that an average person, that is you and I, eat, this is 3 years ago, eat about microplastic, or rather plastics, the size of a credit card for a month. So that is a lot of microplastic, or plastic for that matter. That finding or the conclusion was 3 to 5 years ago, and now they say average person eats about a microplastic the size of a credit card per week. So that is, we are consuming without knowing. We don't say we are eating plastics or microplastics. It so happened so much of plastics, microplastics are there in food that we consume. So that is the warning signal. So we have to be aware, and we have to take actions. How do we deal with this problem? So let me give you some background information. I know there are tons of documentaries, video presentations, talk shows about plastic pollution and microplastic, showing very interesting pictures. But let me show you some of this work that we have done and the findings of the people from Sri Lanka. If I define microplastics, so these are tiny particles that's less than 5 micrometer size, and in nature it exists as 2 forms, or rather origin as 2 forms: primary microplastics and secondary microplastics. The primary ones, they are actually purposely manufactured, like those things in cosmetics and clothing, artificially synthesized clothing, etc. And then the secondary ones are those that break down from the larger plastic utensils and other the products, that is through mechanical forces and also by UV light. So most of these, they originate in the inland and then end up in the ocean. So we're going to talk about the marine plastic debris in the ocean, basically. So this is a picture actually about 7 years old. If we are to project it for today, but the pattern is the same. The numbers may be different. The darker the color, higher the amount of plastics or microplastics that is being mismanaged by different countries. So you can see where the darker colors are. And Sri Lanka have been depicted somewhat darker in this picture. So if you dig really deeper into the matter, and this table was taken from the same paper by Jenna Jambak. She's from the US, did a global study, wonderful study. But the problem here is that Sri Lanka was placed number 5 in the list, starting from the top, where the plastic mismanaged and the amount of plastic that is being sent to the oceans, ocean pollution levels. Then the people in the country, the officials argued that this number here, it says the waste generated rate per person per day, the kilogram, the amount of plastics produced by per person per day, it says 5.1 kilogram. So the argument by the government officials, conservationists, MIPA people, NARA people, and also the environmental ministry personnel, they said this is way too much. In Sri Lanka, one person doesn't consume this much of plastics. The figure is wrong, and the figure that they gave was it's 0.51 instead of 5.1. Okay, so that was the argument, and people didn't, okay, we thought, okay, Sri Lanka should be way down in the list. Should it be in the list still? We don't know if the figure was changed, but we are there somewhere, because later studies showed that some of the latest findings. The total quantity of plastic that is washed into the ocean, so it's huge. And the per capita contribution, the study says 3.3 kilograms. So that is a large number of plastics. And then who has to be blamed? There are so many, all these things are being talked about. It's in news articles, it's in documentaries, tourism, fishery, all those harbor operations, they all contribute to the pollution of oceans and contribution to the microplastic. These studies are very recent studies, gives those statistics. Okay, so microplastic work specifically, the background information is well established now. Studies have been done. There's how much is in seawater, beach sand, lagoon sediments, how much is in fish. These studies are not very extensive, but preliminary for observations have been made and published for Sri Lankan literature, and also in marine invertebrates. There are many studies on the way now, and these are some of these people who have contributed towards this. And recently, we carried out a study. We wanted to find out how much microplastic we eat in sea salt. We consume that every day. All this food is, spiced, rather, we cannot eat without adding salt into that. So we do use table salt. We call it a commercial table salt. And we also checked how much is there in the saltants, the raw salt. So we collected samples from the 3 saltants in the country, Elephant Pass, Putlam, and also Hambantota saltants. And also we collected table salt samples coming from all these 3 saltants as well as imported ones. Believe it or not, there are so many imported sea salt samples in the market. If you look at the label, if you turn around, see there are made in China, not microplastics, sorry, salt samples in the market. So the numbers are appalling. Like this bar shows how much of microplastic is present in the solvents, the 3 solvents. And if you look at the numbers in the 3 locations, the significant difference between Hambantota, Putlam, and Elephant Pass. Hambantota having the highest number, followed by Putlam, and the number at Elephant Pass was somewhat less. And you can see how statistically significant amount being contributed by these solvents. So these are some of the pictures taken from the different types of microplastics. And they come in different forms. They are fibers, beads, they are in different colors. So we can classify them. There's standard classification of microplastics found in natural habitats. So, and this is some of these, we actually tested 20 different salt brands. The amount of microplastic varied. We don't want to give specifically any information about the brand names, but all the brands had microplastics in it. And this bar shows the different types. Most of them had microfibers. Microfibers are mostly coming from the synthetic cloth material. And we did some chemistry. We analyzed this using FTIR to look at the little bit more details. By looking at details, we can really trace back to its origin. Where do they coming from? Where is this microplastic coming from? Where is this fiber coming from? So we kind of analyze this and trace it back to its origin later. All right, so that is the plastic in marine water. So the question is that mainly they originate in land and then finally end up in the ocean. So we also did another study in a freshwater stream. It's in Polgola area close by. It's called Ravan Oya Tributary in Mahaveli River. We selected 4 sites. One site from a pristine area undisturbed, and then agricultural area, heavily urban area, and a semi-urban area. These four red dots are the areas. Okay, so we look at the microplastic levels in the surface water as well as in sediment. So these numbers show microplastic per cubic meter of water, and this is the microplastic level per kilogram of sediment. You can see the 4 bars are for the catchment area, the pristine, undisturbed, rural, urban, and semi-urban. So you can see the tall bar is always for the urban area. Surprisingly, the catchment area where we think that is an undisturbed still had some level of microplastics. So it's important to see, or rather interesting to see where they are coming from, what are they, where did they originated from. Okay, so the red circles in the map shows the magnitude of the level of microplastic contamination along the river in the sites that we did. So you can see the visibly, okay, also like this is the pristine area. You don't see anything, but as you go along the river down to the urban areas, you know, dumping of so many trash, large amount of plastic trash being dumped into the river, and you can see how the trash is being mismanaged. Okay, so those are some of the studies that we have carried out. In addition to this, we are also doing some studies looking at the microplastics in this water that we consume. This is not good. This is good. So from for the conservation conferences, we have to do away with it. I know this is given by the prepared, but I remember, I hope Lalit was also there at this conference in South Carolina, where we attended the sea turtle conference, conservation and biology conference. No plastic. No plastic bottles. They gave a mug for us to drink coffee. We have been using it throughout the conference, and they have water dispensers. Everybody had their water bottle. They carry water bottles. Conservationists carry their water bottle with them. That's a practice. And also, this is cloth. I observed that this is cloth. The conference didn't allow flex posters to be printed. Nobody brought flex conference posters for the conference. They all cloth or paper, recyclable material. You know, people argue that paper has also issues, but this is natural material. So likewise, you have to practice what you preach. Going back to the research that we are doing, we are looking at the microplastics that we drink in these bottles. This is underway. We are also looking at the longitudinally, keeping the bottle from day 1 to 1 year and see how much it varies. Same brand, same product from the same company, and how it varies with time. And also the microplastic, amount of microplastic that we inhale in the masks. So better to switch to, I'm also having a commercial one, better to switch to cotton cloth ones. At least wear it inside so that we will not be inhaling. There are studies on people looking at how much is out there in the air, how much we are inhaling. The amount of plastic that was calculated or rather estimated as one, the credit card size is also through inhalation. It's not only through food and water, but through inhalation. So there's a lot of happening without us knowing. So what can we do is the next question. So everybody knows that microplastic pollution or plastic pollution is out there and it's a problem. So we don't have to, repeat that, but monitoring how much is there in food and how much is in the environment is important still. And also, what are the health hazards due to ingestion of microplastic? It's still a big question. So a lot of research is being going on in human. I'm not talking about plastic ingestion, but microplastic ingestion, how it affects the humans. For example, ingestion of microplastic in sea salt, how does that affect humans? Then, how do you develop a method to remove microplastics from food? I think removing from salt is a solution, but implementing, somebody has to do these things. And also one of the most effective one is making people aware. Community awareness should start from the school. Kids, very effective. And also media. Media is nowadays, they can switch everything upside down. So if the media is being aware, if you make the media aware and get the message to the community, that's a very effective way of reaching it to the community and kind of getting people to do what you want to do. And then finally, this is some, everybody knows about this. The shipwreck happened last year, and still it has been under investigation. I'm not sure whether there are talks based on this. Lalit is involved in aftermath of this, and the damage done we call it unmeasurable. And also probably the worst maritime disaster in Sri Lanka in its history. So this is still being investigated, what is happening. Good thing is we had some background information about the level of microplastic in beach sand. Now we can compare before and after. How much is there in, and how much is there in sea salt, for example. So those numbers that I presented before the shipwreck, we did the sampling in 2020. All right, so that kind of concludes my presentation.